fire chief will be out here in just a minute. He's just going to read a statement, and then I'll take it from there to answer any questions or anything, or follow up or anything like this. Give him just a minute, and he'll be out here. Thank you all for coming. I know everybody's wanting stuff on camera, so it's easier to just do this one time than 14 or however many different times it's going to be. We're looking. We are looking right now. Check. Yeah, the levels are good. And when we get that photo, we'll put it on our Facebook page. So, we'll put it on our Facebook page when we get a photo of it. It's melting today. On the grass? Yeah. So if you guys, I'll just tell you, Scott Olson, Scottolsen. He's the fire chief, so that's what we're talking. You won't have to ask his name or anything.
just have a short statement to read, and then Chief Blumenkamp will take any questions afterwards. Today I announce with great sadness that Boone County Fire Protection District Assistant Chief Matthew Tobben died this morning during a swiftwater rescue operation. Assistant Chief Matt Tobben was assisting the Columbia Fire Department with several other Boone County units during a swiftwater rescue operation at Range Line Street and Bear Creek early this morning. Assistant Chief Tobben was managing one of our rescue boats with a Columbia firefighter on board when they went upstream from that location and rescued two individuals that were trapped. They were coming back downstream when the boat was overturned, and all were thrown out of the boat. Assistant Chief Tobben was thrown from the boat and drowned afterwards. The Columbia firefighter and two victims that were originally rescued were able to be rescued and are doing okay. After an extensive search of the area with both members of the Boone County Fire District, the Columbia Fire Department, Missouri State Highway Patrol, their Water Patrol, the Boone County Sheriff's Department, Columbia Police Department, and many other public safety agencies, we unfortunately found Chief Tobben later in the water, and he had expired. I would like you to keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. He has a wife and two small children. This is going to be a very difficult time for them. Thank you.
So with that, anybody have any questions? Anything specific? Yes. So all of the funeral arrangements and everything will be handled through their family. Obviously, at this point, it's so early in that event. There's been no decisions made or no discussion about that yet. But as that comes out, we will put that on our Facebook page, our website, all of our social medias, and that's how you guys will get further updates on when and where and what the plan will be. Yep, it is an inflatable boat. So the cause of the accident or the incident is under investigation. Missouri State Water Patrol, Highway Patrol is taking care of that. They've started that investigation, but initially during the rescue operation, after they had made the rescue of the two individuals, they called out a mayday for the boat had lost power. So when they lost power, they called for the mayday. As the boat was then being carried downstream is when it capsized, and all four occupants of the boat were thrown out at that point. Chief Tobben never did resurface once he was thrown out. He did make one attempt to grab a tow line, but after that he was not seen again. The other three, the Columbia firefighter and the two original victims, were re-rescued or rescued again and was brought to safety.
Gil, this is a terrible loss for his family.
Yep.
What kind of loss is this for the entire community?
So Chief Tobben has been a member of Missouri Task Force 1 since 2012, and he has been deployed to disasters all over this country and the state of Missouri. He's a 19-year veteran of the Union Fire Department in Union, Missouri, and had just recently got hired here to be our training chief. He actually started on May 1st, so 2 months is a pretty short time, but the impact that he had in the state of Missouri, Boone County, and the country for that matter with the task force is unmeasured. He was very well credentialed. He taught swiftwater rescue trainings. He taught swiftwater boat operations. He's the guy that taught people how to do what he was doing this morning. And so there wouldn't be anybody more credentialed, anyone more responsible to do the work that was being done this morning. Chief Tobben was involved in the rescue, the swiftwater event that we had on Wednesday last week on Gillespie Bridge Road. He was one that walked out there and was able to help rescue the driver of that car. Unfortunately, the passenger of that vehicle passed away as well. So Chief Tobben's done these many, many times throughout his life, and it's a big impact to this organization, the state of Missouri, but nothing as bad as what his family's gonna face.
Is there anything you can tell us? Because I assume he was wearing water safety, like a
Yeah, so
jacket, and do you suspect maybe like he hit his head on the way down? Is there anything you can speculate?
it's really hard to say. The life jacket and the helmet was found floating downstream, so whether he shed that or whether it came off because of the force of the water, we don't know that, and we'll probably never know that. But it's not uncommon for rescue swimmers, when they get in a situation, to shed their life jacket if they need to. So it wouldn't surprise me either way. The force of that water was pretty extreme this morning. And again, flash flooding, it's hard to measure, and it comes up fast and goes down fast. But unfortunately, it was a very tragic morning today.
Can you tell us a little bit, like, are those boats always Boone County boats and water rescues, or why was it Boone County and Columbia Fire together?
So Columbia Fire was actually responding and was working another water rescue situation. They have boats as well, and so when this one came in, they called for mutual aid. So they needed another boat, and so it was our boat that was being used on this rescue. They were using their boats on other rescues, and so there were several working incidents this morning throughout the Columbia community.
There's been multiple rescues in recent years. How's the department kind of dealing?
So there's a couple things about Missouri. One is it's going to get hot. Two, it's going to get cold. And three, it's typically going to flood sometime. So we're prepared for it. We're trained for it. We see it almost every year. Thankfully, we don't see the tragedies that we've seen the last couple days every year. I don't know when the last drowning victim was in floodwaters here, but we've had now two, one rescuer, one civilian, in the last 6 days, 5 days. Never makes it easy, but we're prepared and we work for it. Rains again tomorrow, so we could be doing the same situation, the same type of rescues again tomorrow, and hopefully we have a much better outcome.
Yeah, this all started because someone tried to go the other way.
Well, we're not sure about that, Mark. There were two people that were stranded and needing rescue. I don't think it was a vehicle that entered the water. I think they got trapped by the floodwaters.
As pedestrians?
As pedestrians, but I don't believe there's a vehicle involved in this one.
Okay, well, we still see people try to do this.
We do. Yep.
What do you say to them?
Well, I would tell them just like we always say, turn around, don't drown. I mean, you never know what's underneath that surface of that water. You may think it's only 6 or 8 inches deep. It only takes 6 inches to float a vehicle and wash it off the roadway. And as hard as that current's moving, it's not going to take a lot. I can't confirm that. I'm sure that's part of the investigation, whether they were homeless or not. But it doesn't really matter in the sense that there's still 2 people that needed rescued, right? And that's what our job is, and that's what we will continue to go do is make those rescue attempts when we can make them. Yep, 3 years ago. Yep. This is the second line of duty death for the Boone County Fire Protection District. Unfortunately, we just had our last one. Chief Gladney, Assistant Chief of Training, was killed in that accident on I-70 a couple years ago. It was 21. Yep, December 21. Yeah, for the Boone County Fire Protection District. Yep, second one.
I have a couple logistical questions.
Okay.
Do you know, like, what specific time the boat capsized this morning?
I do not. I believe this call came in around 4:30, 4:20 sometime this morning, so it was early. It was still dark, which makes it even more dangerous when we're putting boats on floodwater during the nighttime hours. It's even harder to see some of the dangers.
We saw a trailer carry a boat out around 11 when the crew was clearing. Can you confirm that was the boat that capsized?
I can't. I'm not sure which boat you saw. There was multiple boats out there. We brought multiple boats with us, obviously when the rescue was going on, or the attempted rescue. So I'm not sure what you saw, but it would have been one of the black inflatable boats is what he would have been in.
My other logistical question, we saw a white van come out of there with a police escort.
Uh-huh.
Was that Tobben?
That was Chief Tobben, and we were escorting him to the medical examiner's office there near University Hospital.
Was Matt part of your rescue team on Boston Bridge Road, or did he just show up as a
No, Matt. No, Matt was. He was dispatched, or he responded to that call on Gillespie Bridge Road, and was able. He actually walked out to where the vehicle was, and was able to secure the driver and the person that went out to help him, the civilian that went out to help him, and was able to get them in a boat, in that same Zodiac boat, and get them to safety. Yeah.
This is a really, really tough loss for everyone involved. I was wondering if the fire department has any way you guys are coming together to sort of look past this as a community, out in the community, maybe like looking past it.
I'll tell you that when it comes to things like this, we're a pretty private group. We look to one another for that strength, and we look to the people that have experienced things of tragedy like this in the past, which unfortunately most of us have done that. So, as far as community support, we ask that they, give us some space, obviously, but, have prayers for the family. That's where it's at. That's what they need. We've got ways that we can deal with it internally, and we will meet with ourselves and help each other go get through this one. But it's never easy, nor should it be easy. But the community's always been great to us. Whether it's the Columbia Fire Department, Boone County Fire District, Southern Boone, Centralia, the 4 organizations here have always come together at times like this, and it's without question whatever we need. We just have to reach out to them, and so we work amongst our inner group of emergency responders for help, and again, that community support for his family is very well appreciated.
Is it known where exactly the incident occurred?
So the incident actually occurred, I believe, right underneath the bridge on Rangeline Street, where Bear Creek runs underneath it. So right near the Columbia Fire Department's training center, right near that Casey's. I believe it was just underneath that bridge is where it actually occurred.
Are you still unsure, not speculating, the reason for the rescue at all, like why they were in the water at all?
Yeah, I don't know the original 2. I don't know if they were in the water or they were just stranded on a bank or somewhere near the water. Not sure. Columbia Fire Department did just recently put out a press release. They would have details on that as to why that rescue was needed. We responded as a mutual aid assist, and so when we got there, we put our boat in the water. They put one of their firefighters in, and we go upstream to get these people. So that I just don't know the answers to your questions there. Anything else? Right.
Who he was as a human, and how your interactions with him were.
So we've been looking for the right person to come and take that job, assistant chief over training. And Chief Tobben was one of those guys that he's one of the best out there, because he's part of the task force. He's done all the training. He's got all the experiences, and so we had an opportunity to hire him from Union, and that's where he came from. And we searched long and hard to find a man of that quality and that amount of training to come in and teach our people as well, to lead us in that training bureau. He'd do anything for you. He'd been here a couple months as a full-time employee. Been with the task force for 12 years. But he'd do anything for you. All you had to do was ask, and he was always willing to help. Never turned down the opportunity to run that call, to make that rescue, to be involved, to go in the fire on the hose line. He just never hesitated. He's just one of those go-getters that he'd been doing it for 19 years, I believe. So just a nice family, honest, hard-working individual, and he's going to be sorely missed by a lot of people. Anything else? Everybody got it? Okay. Anything? Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time.